so then you can go and shop for it. And then you can join here. I mean, look here, and you can see the actual like bigger supper page. So eventually we're going to have the RSVP. It's going to take a spot out and it'll reserve a spot. But we don't have that functionality yet. And then we've got user out, so then you can log out. So then it brings us back to the home page. And if you try to host a supper, it's protected. I guess that's it. I don't have, is there anything else? Rachel's my buddy. We did this.
So if you're logged in and you click host a supper, then it takes you to the application page. So eventually we want people to like not just be able to create these events, like we want them to like send in their idea and then we'll review it. And then if it's good, then it's really good, then we'll allow it, and then they'll have access to their dashboard. But for now, just for our MVP, we just have it so anyone can post anything.
Yeah, so that's like our quality control area, so that people aren't serving poison.
Some sort of like standard terms and conditions. I don't know.
Yeah, so this is like a pretty big project. Like I don't know, we're probably halfway done. We want to be able to link hosts and chefs together so that there's more opportunity to host.
We want to expand it. Don't we want to do not just food, but like
and eventually we'll have like experiences that are not like confined to food. So it's like a pretty ambitious project, but that's what we've got so far.
I make some pretty good calzones. Could I host a supper?
Yeah, absolutely. Just it can't be poison. And I think that's about it so far.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, Travis.
Hey.
Can I just say I love the styling? It looks fantastic.
And we copied Airbnb.
Really
Airbnb helped influence this entirely.
Yeah. It looks really good. I like different size images and stuff.
Yeah, that was Rachel. She rocked that. That was good. That's it. Any questions?
Is it responsive?
Let's see.
This page is the nav bar, isn't it?
Yeah, our nav bar is a joke.
But this page and
it's like some of it's responsive.
the host dashboard is, so if you shrink it, it should. And then eventually.
No, media queries.
Yeah.
Like you taught us. And yeah, our nav bar is kind of janky, and so some other things are too. So that's it. That's us. No, it's dynamic. It's all our own data. Yeah. So we made, Oh man. Let's see, Git was pretty obnoxious to deal with. But yeah, we failed entirely at some point and just started over. And then we got it. Some of the styling has been pretty hard. And then like user authentication maybe was some of the hardest stuff.
For the landing page, just gonna do like a grid of like images, and that was harder than doing this. Like it was impossible to get them just like lined up.
How did you account for like the different size images? Does it just lay out perfectly, or how?
Yeah, so it's CSS columns, and so we set it to 3 columns, and then we gave the image just the 100% hit.
Okay.
And then it gave, I think it was just high auto, and it just.
Okay. It's just awesome.
Anything else?
What was the easiest part?
Easiest part. Copying Airbnb. No. Getting that blue color, man. I don't know. It was all like, I don't know. I get overwhelmed so fast. That was my problem.
You guys did a great job.
Thanks, man. All right, we're done. Stop share. Quit Zoom. Leave meeting. All right, we did it. Who's next? Hey. Yeah. Yeah, all of it is in React. Yeah. How do you like React? You like it? I mean, it's like it was a slow uptake for like me. I didn't like it at first. Oh yeah, have you guys done Redux yet? Huh? I'm already. You'll like it. You don't. Oh, you don't like it. It's like you'll use it until the end. Right? It's instant line. They're reactive. They're reactive.
Is JSX or what? JSX?
Yeah. Okay. You just talk until you don't want to, I guess.
Should I go up there? Yeah. Do I have to go up there? Okay. So me and Gavin work together. Our website is called Matumbiru. So Gavin styled this front page here. It's pretty sweet. It has like some transitions in there. We're gonna add more stuff to this front page for when you highlight over these, it'll put preview images, but you can log in. And so here it says GIFify a song. So you won't have to log in with your Spotify account. So it'll say connect with your account to Spotify. Hit OK. And so our app displays your recently played songs that you've listened to on Spotify. So you can scroll through here and see the album covers. You can click on them and it'll like start playing it in your Spotify. And then here you click recently played and it shows all 50 of the songs and like the energy of them, danceability, and valence, which is like how happy or sad the song is. Also, these are links as well to the content of the Spotify songs. And now, for every song, you can GIFify it. So if we GIFify this song, it brings up GIFs related to Better Together and Jack Johnson. So I'll find a better album. We can GIFify this one. Rivers and Roads is what it's called. So yeah, everything kind of relates to that. Let's see. So that's like the recently played songs. It updates too, which I think my Spotify is still playing. So it's just gonna update as it goes. Here you can see your playlists that you've created. And that's all the functionality that has. But here you can see your saved tracks. So every song that you save to your library in Spotify, it's pretty much the same thing as before. As well as it averages out all the songs that you've listened to. So like my danceability is like medium. My happy sadness, it's like a little on the sad side, I guess. And more energy. is what I listen to. Well, I have in my library, I guess. But let's find recently played.
Ooh, I love Line Road. Okay.
Here's up all the band shifts. So yeah, and that's about it, I think. What else, Gavin? Anything else?
How do you have a song that is high in danceability but it's still sad?
It's a sad dancing song. I don't know. Yeah. So all the data just comes from Spotify. So like Spotify rates all that, which their valence is kind of weird how it does it. But Bon Iver's songs, they're like all sad, even though like they're kind of danceable, I guess. Basically all rap songs are really danceable because they have like a consistent beat and tempo and everything. So yeah, any questions? Yeah, well, you just click on it and it opens it up in Spotify. So it's playing right now, but and then yeah, so it just opens it in a new tab. And then if you have Spotify on your desktop, it starts playing it on your desktop as well. So yep.
How does it look on a phone?
Perfect. It's very responsive. No, it's not responsive at all. Yeah.
How does it decide to shippify from what locations?
What? What is it?
What locations in the video file does it decide to?
So we're just going off the artist name and the song name. Let's see. Oops. So if we go here, so this, when you hit Jiffify, this one says I fall over and wild cub. So like, here's some wild cubs and here's some like things falling over. So like relates to the artist and the title. I don't know. There's some other like, I can't remember which songs were good of Texas and Magic Man, I guess. So, and a Magic Man. Yeah. Oh. Yep. And that's it.
The most difficult part?
I don't know, Gavin. It was all kind of the same, I guess.
I don't know.
User authentication. We haven't set up our user authentication yet because we just kind of focused on Spotify's, but that's kind of giving us problems because we have to do it like separate and use different servers for it. But I found it kind of hard. Okay, so like up here, I had like actions to get the songs. So like sorting out the actions was kind of confusing. So you have to get a current, to get a playlist, you have to have a user ID. And to get the user ID, you need to make a Spotify call. So you call Spotify, and then inside that, you make another GET request for the songs, store it in an array, and then pass that all down. And then like all the audio is on a separate GET request as well. It's like everything's kind of nested together in one, which is kind of confusing. But that's probably the hardest part.
What did you guys use for your like the little bar that shows how like, the valence and the danceability?
Yeah.
Which is, like,
you think many people know what valence means?
No. We're going to change that. Yeah.
What's the best resource
Daniels, if you just Google like React Router Spotify tutorial, you follow that, but it's a little outdated, so you have to like change some things. Like it uses React Router instead of React Router DOM. So, yeah. Who's next?
Lace and Jess. You can talk into this guy right here.
Does it actually work? Zoom.
Jess, you want to come sit over with Lace?
So, share screen. And no, it was something. No, it's something completely unexpected. That one. Okay. All right. They're still coming up with an idea was not our forte. So we looked at each other and we came up with beards and mustaches contest. Okay. So actually, when you get into the home page here, he's being interviewed about his social life and you can't understand why he can't get a date. This is his facial hair along with some of his own top hair. Why somebody would do this is beyond me. Of course, some of you might be inspired to follow suit. I don't know. This, with the site, we've used the, let me do something here. So there we go. Nope. Thought I'd hide that. We have more menu items, but those are hidden or protected until you either sign up or log in. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in. These are switches that allow you to hide. There we go. Okay, so upon logging in, it opens up to the competitions page where you can enter. You simply click on one of these buttons and you're then entered into that competition. Okay. Once they've entered or registered, they can go to their profile and see which ones they are competing in. Down the line, we would then put also a delete button if they suddenly decided the sponsor wasn't serious about what they're doing. And the last thing was our photo gallery. These are different competitors, past winners or champions. I looked at these and I thought, strange. So to me, if you play Warcraft, he looks like an orc peon. And then right next to him is, this is Santa with an attitude. You can't see this in too well, but he's got these glasses that remind me of Elton John, so he's on steroids, Elton John on steroids. One of my favorites was the Three Amigos, because I swear this guy right here looked like Wolverine's brother. Not as hefty or muscular, but that facial hair, which you can't hardly see. And since I used to go to the circus when I was younger, Barnum and Bailey, these are the Barnum brothers who started the Barnum Bailey Ringling Brothers Circus. Anyway, if you are curious about competition and joining, there is a website that you can click on here, get more history and facts. Beards make you look more intimidating to your enemy, more menacing. So there are purposes behind that. That's basically it. Do you have anything to say? You've got the best beard here, so. That's it.
Is it in the industry?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can use this if you want, or you can just come up here, whatever you want. Nice.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, should we start?
Yeah, so our project, we decided to try to create an 80s game show called Press Your Luck.
I actually brought up a video of it,
So,
just really quick, just because I feel like a lot of people haven't heard of this show. Like, I remember when I was telling people about it, they're like, what? So I thought it'd be good to bring up a video. But basically, we were trying to recreate it in the browser.
Go.
And yeah, that was our goal. Just to make it, we had an idea of like, we had an idea of like making like a bunch of divs and then like using map random to like change the class name, so we could change the border, you know, so you could have something jumping around. And initially, we thought it turned out to be 100 times more difficult than we could have ever imagined.
so our goal was to be able to have people on different computers join the same game and see the same information being displayed. So our challenge was getting everything onto the database and having that, taking information and displaying it to everyone else. And we did not get there.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I said, we are not going to stop working on this because we really want to like finish the project. But we were only able to get the trivia aspect of the game working because that proved to be very difficult because we didn't think about the concept of like people joining the same room, you know, and like what that means. But basically, you can log in. At this point, unfortunately it's only a trivia game. So like how the game works is the first round, like people like they ask them questions, you know, and then once they get a question, they get a spin, and then how many spins you have, you can take to the board and you can try and win money. But we never actually made it to the board aspect because the trivia aspect was so difficult to implement. And we learned a lot though. Like this was an experiment, and unfortunately we weren't able to get it to where we wanted to on time. But we still learned a lot and went into some new territory that we had never gone into. So here's what we call the game room, and basically what this is join one of these games. And once you start one of these games, then you can play some trivia. And like I said, this was meant to be like the first round, and then how many trivia answers you got correctly would determine how many times you get to spin on the board. But at this point, it's just a trivia game. And what made this so difficult was we had to have two separate models inside of our backend. One was the users, obviously, like the players, which is just, you know, your simple login that we covered, you know, just with JSON tokens. But the second thing is the thing that makes this project unique, and that is the actual games. So if you go back, we go back to the game room. These are actual objects that we have in our database that are games, and which you have to. And when you join a game, it sends what it does is it sends a put request to the game object, and it puts the player's IDs inside of an array that we have inside of our object. And these game objects have all the data that we would ostensibly use for the game, like the amount of spins it has, and most importantly, it also has a trivia question. And I think this is another thing that Ben was telling us that is a little different about our project is we actually had to import an external trivia API, but we're calling it from our back end. So when you click on join a game, what it does is it takes this empty game object that has a bunch of properties on it, and one of the properties is a question. And we basically are making a GET request to the API then we make another put request to the object, and we put the trivia question and all the answers in, and then we also put the player in. So the big problem that we ran into was just the way how HTTP is asynchronous. You know, like we needed to make it so like the code can like make each request, you know, make sure each promise finishes before moving on to the next promise, and that turned out to be really really difficult. But at this point, I mean, all it is right now is just like a functioning trivia game. So like this is like, they have like vocabulary, so reprehensible, I mean, shameful, very bad is probably the answer. And so if you get it correct, it'll give you a spin. And you can see down here, this was also going to be an idea. We were going to have this be like, we never figured out how to get multiple players playing at one time. We really wanted it to be that way so people could join in and play for our presentation, but we didn't make it. You're supposed to have all 3 players down here. But it'll keep going. So it'll just ask questions forever. Like we had this